Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, a little science experiment on liver stones here. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these small glass mason jars here. Each one has a different ingredient that potentially could dissolve liver and gallstones by drinking these substances. So what we've done is we've added 3 liver stones from the same liver flush, stones produced from the same liver flush, with different ingredients here to see what kind of dissolving effects they have on the stones here. So I'll go through what we've done here. Number 1 is just plain water with 3 stones. Number 2 is the juice of 2 lemons, and to top it off they all have the same volume of liquid, right to the same volume. So this one is just water, this one is 2 lemons, about to there with a bit of water. Then we have here 1 tablespoon of epsom salt in water. Then we have 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar here, which contains malic acid, which is known to dissolve liver stones. And so 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, the rest water. Alright, we have 30 drops of orthophosphoric acid, which is supposed to dissolve liver stones too. So 30 drops and the rest water. Then we have 1 tablespoon of oxy-mag with the juice of 1 lemon, because oxy-mag needs ascorbic acid in order to activate the oxygenated magnesium. So that one's got 1 tablespoon of oxy-mag powder and 1 juice of a lemon and the rest water. And then we have kombucha tea made from these kombucha teas up here, which is a friendly probiotic, and they are quite strong right now as they get to the bottom, so very vinegary. We're going to see if they dissolve liver and gallstones. And then we have that was kombucha, yeah, kombucha. And then finally here we have Chanca piedra herb, Chanca piedra, which is nickname is stonebreaker tea. So there we are, we've just started this, we're only a few minutes into it. We're going to take note of the effects of all these stones and see what dissolves first, how much they dissolve, and such, and we will actually, the only ingredient I don't think I did try out of all these 8 ingredients here was malic acid powder, but the apple cider vinegar contains natural malic acid. So besides the malic acid powder, we got basically everything that I know that dissolves liver stones here. So we'll check back here once stones start to dissolve. We'll keep track of the time and we'll let you know what dissolves what. Alright, thanks. We'll get back to you in a bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are after 1 hour of letting the 3 stones in each experiment of mason jar with different products after 1 hour, and I'll just closely go over them. Nothing as far as dissolving has happened to any of the stones. I've looked very closely at each one. No dissolving has happened. So that's 1 hour later. We'll check back in another hour. Here we are now, ladies and gentlemen. This is 2 hours later after adding the stones to the different liquids, and here we are now. Still absolutely no dissolving effects on any of the stones. The only thing that I have observed over the last 2 hours is these stones with the oxy-mag and lemon have turned a little bit white from the oxy-mag, but not dissolving. The kombucha and the Chanca piedra, nothing has dissolved any stones yet, but we're only 2 hours in to this experiment, so we'll check back in another hour. Stay tuned. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2 hours later, so 4 hours total after adding the stones to the different liquids here, and still nothing has started to dissolve here into any of the stones have not dissolved. So that's 4 hours later. We'll try back in another hour or so. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're now 6 hours into this experiment, and 2 of the substances are now dissolving the stones out of these 8. 2 of them. Can you guess which ones? Well, the 2 are, one is apple cider vinegar, and as you can see inside here, if I shake it a little bit, you'll see around the edges there and stuff, there is, you see down in there, you see all those little spots? That is particles of the stones breaking off. Might be hard to get a huge visual of that, but it's quite obvious compared to any of the other ones. And the other one is, very surprisingly, from my research, this one hasn't been well documented, is kombucha, which is like another vinegar. So these vinegars really have the ability. And kombucha was just an experiment I wanted to try. I suspected it might, and very much so. Look at all that as well. And so the rest, though, the water has done nothing. The lemon juice did a little bit, just a little bit around the sides there, a slight little bit, but not much. And the rest are basically the same. The oxy-mag here, if you look close, the stones are turning quite white from the oxy-mag, which is basically a cleaning agent, scrubbing the toxins clean and wiping out the free radicals. So it's got its own effects and properties. The kombucha we showed, and the Chanca piedra is not also breaking anything up yet. This is now 6 hours in. We'll check back in another hour and see where we're at. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're now 7 hours into this experiment. The 4 containers on the left have not dissolved the liver and gallbladder stones, and the 4 on the right now have. So 2 more now are dissolved in the last hour. They caught up to the other 2, so very interesting. Can you guess which ones they are? They are orthophosphoric acid. 30 drops of orthophosphoric acid in the water, which is a liver cleansing product for dissolving stones. More proof. And guess what else? The juice of 2 lemons, and that's why lemon juice is used also in the liver flush as well, as a super antioxidant that supports the liver and helps detox the liver and alkalize the body. So there you have it, the 4 so far in 7 hours. The apple cider vinegar, the orthophosphoric drops, 2 lemon juice, the lemon juice, and the kombucha mushroom tea. The ones that have not dissolved is Chanca piedra herb, the oxy-mag powder, and 2 tablespoons epsom salt, and the water, the control. So if you look inside, no little stones, little globules of broken down stone. These ones are very white in color, the stones from the oxy-mag, still even getting more white. And Chanca piedra, nothing. But now look at the well, there's the apple cider vinegar. You can see all those spots there of particles coming apart. And now here is the orthophos. Take a look at all the particles coming off of those now. And the orthophos, and the 2 lemons here. The 2 lemons, look at all that as well coming off with just the juice of lemons. And finally over here we have the kombucha mushroom tea there. So amazing. Kombucha is very cleansing for the liver, helps dissolve stones, is also a probiotic. The lemons is also very alkaline. And orthophosphoric drops travels easy. It stores for a long time, and you only have to add 30 drops to a glass of water, and the apple cider vinegar is really readily available and easy to get. So we'll continue on this experiment. That's 7 hours in, and we'll take another look in another hour or two. We'll see once there's big noticeable results, or if one of these four also start dissolving. We'll show you in an hour. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it has now been 8 hours, and as you can see, there's 3 jars here and now 5 here. So one more jar now is also dissolving here after 8 hours. Can you guess which one that might be? And it is 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt in water. So I'll show you what we got here. The water, the control with the water here has no dissolving. The oxy-mag here, the stones have turned white from the oxy-mag, but no dissolving. The Chanca piedra here, also no dissolving. So very interesting. And then the apple cider vinegar, take a look at all that dissolving that has gone on. And if you remember, the apple cider vinegar was one of the first ones to dissolve, and it continues to keep dissolving, as you can see all along the sides and stuff, all kinds of dissolved stones. And the two first ones were the apple cider vinegar and kombucha here. The kombucha is still also dissolving. It's got a lot of broken up stones in there. And then if you remember, the next two was orthophosphoric acid and the lemon juice, and those have also continued to keep on dissolving, as you can see. Yes, as you can see, all the little bits there, like I said, lots of dissolved stones, and the lemon juice as well, the two second ones to dissolve, lots of dissolved stones in there as well. And then finally there, the new one with the Epsom salts. Not as much as the other four there that have dissolved, but you can see, if you look closely, some dissolving of the stones there. And the big stone you see in the middle, some stuff is coming off that still now. So the Epsom salts does have an effect, but that was 8 hours later. So far the quickest dissolvers are apple cider vinegar and kombucha. Next following is orthophos and lemons. And actually the orthophos there, even though it was later than the other ones, it seems to have the most dissolving so far, the orthophosphoric acid. So that's an amazing product as well. So we'll keep this going. That is now after 8 hours. We have 5 of them that have dissolved and 3 that haven't. We'll check back in another hour. Alright, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, 9 hours into this experiment, and the same 3 still have not started dissolving, and the 5 here have dissolved a bit more each. So as you can see, nothing dissolving in this one here, nothing dissolving in the oxy-mag. There's the water, the oxy-mag, and here is the Chanca piedra, nothing dissolving as well. Now I'll take a look at the apple cider vinegar here. We'll give it a little shake, and you can see all the stones, little debris coming off the stones still. And same here with the kombucha, the first 2 original to start the dissolving process. Lots there. And now look at, actually here, the orthophos has gone to the next level. The orthophos so far has got the most dissolving of the stones here. There's actually some larger thin pieces that shelled right off of it. So that's 30 drops of orthophos in that much water. So wow, is that stuff ever powerful. All these things are powerful, but the orthophos is especially really dissolving. And also here, the lemon juice, look at how much amazing the lemon juice does as well. So, and then the Epsom salt here is still not too much, but it still did dissolve a bit. It's a minor amount though. You see the little floating bits around in there. So there you have it, the 4 big ones so far: apple cider vinegar, kombucha, orthophosphoric acid, and lemon juice. Alright, tiny bit on the epsom salt. So that is 9 hours into this science experiment. We'll try back in another hour here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are 10 hours into this experiment, and the water, oxy-mag, and Chanca piedra still have not dissolved anything. And as far as these ones go, we have the apple cider vinegar, kombucha, orthophosphoric, lemons, and epsom salt. So what we have here is the apple cider vinegar. It keeps dissolving a bit more and a bit more. You see all those dissolving particles of stones. Here we have the kombucha, lots of particles as well. And then here again is the orthophosphoric. Look how much this one is dissolved. This seems to be the highest dissolving substance out of all these ones we've tried here. Quite a bit in this one. Bigger flat chunky pieces. And the lemon as well, very good, very good. All 4 of those ones, very good, very good. And the epsom salt, just a little bit still, not much. If you look closely there is a little bits of floating things around, but not a lot. So 10 hours later, basically these 4, the apple cider vinegar, the kombucha, the orthophosphoric acid, and the lemon juice. Alright, those are the 4 big ones. That's now 10 hours into this experiment. We'll check back later and see what we got. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are 15 hours into this scientific experiment here, and one more now has started to break. The Chanca piedra here, two larger pieces came off the Chanca piedra herb, and but not much, just a couple little pieces. So basically that concludes our experiment here. Our 15 total hours. The water and the oxy-mag did not dissolve any stones. The water as the control there, and the oxy-mag, the stones just turned white from the oxy-mag powder. And if you see in the Chanca piedra here, you can see a couple. See if you can see in the two little floating stones over here up in the top left, right next to the stone. There's the 3 other stones. So two larger ones and a couple little smaller ones came off eventually after 15 hours, but not much in the Chanca piedra. The apple cider vinegar, after that much time, as you can see, a bit more. And same with the kombucha here. Kombucha, about the same though. Kind of maxes out after, say, about 10 hours. And then there we go with the this is the orthophosphoric acid. The orthophosphoric acid had the most effect out of all of them. As you can see, very much dissolving of the stones. And here we have the lemon juice, did quite a bit as well. And the epsom salt here still about the same as before, just a few little bit of debris. So the end result is that the 4 main ones, like before, are apple cider vinegar, the kombucha mushroom tea, the orthophosphoric acid, and the lemon juice. The epsom salt, not really, but a little tiny bit. And the Chanca piedra, not really, but a little bit. It took about between after 10 hours and 15 to have two little chunks come off, and 2 little smaller ones. So not much with the epsom salts or Chanca piedra, I would say. Not really with that, because these were that was 2 tablespoons, or 1 tablespoon of Epsom salts in water there, so quite concentrated. And the Chanca piedra herb was quite concentrated in there as well. So there you have it. These are the 4 big producers right there: apple cider, kombucha, orthophosphoric, and lemons. Alright, so thanks very much for watching. That concludes the scientific research for the liver and gallstone dissolving. The only other thing to consider is, beyond all the dissolving of the liver and gallstone, is the softening of the stones, which maybe the water softens the stones still, and the oxy-mag possibly, and all that. But beyond softening, as you can see, the dissolving is more important than just softening the stone, because by dissolving, you know, it's also softening the stone quite a bit. So there it is. There you have it. I'm Jordan Blakey, the Liver Flesh Man. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And just one little side note, I did just take a spoon and squish the stones to see which ones were soft. And of course the apple cider, kombucha, orthophosphoric, and lemon juice, the 3 that dissolved the stones, were completely soft. They squished down with very little pressure, right all the way down flat. And the Epsom salt did not really squish at all. Either did the oxy-mag, and either did the water. The water maybe just a tiny bit, but the Chanca piedra did more than any of these 3 here. So these 3 really didn't do anything. The Epsom salt, oxy-mag, and water. These 4 did, the ones that dissolved. And the Chanca piedra, when I pressed on it, as you can see, it broke into other stones and was a little bit soft. So the Chanca piedra does have some softening of the stone effects, but not really dissolving the stones. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for watching. That is finally it of this experiment. Thank you. Oh, and the final note of the conclusion of this experiment is that in order to dissolve the liver and gallbladder stones, as you can see, it took over 6 hours before they started dissolving. So the number 1 thing, if you want to dissolve liver and gallstones, is that you would have to be consistent at taking apple cider vinegar or kombucha or orthophosphoric or lemon juice. You can't just have a little bit you know, every couple weeks or whatever. I mean, you gotta basically, before you do a liver flush, you gotta be taking this stuff every day, like kombucha drink every day, let's say, or apple cider vinegar shots with water every day for a couple weeks to a month, even 2 months, for it to really have much of an effect. As you can see, these are in or strictly in the concentrated form for those many hours. So the trick to dissolving stones is being consistent, just like with any cleansing diet. You don't want to be eating fast food in between your cleansing. Basically, you want to make a lifestyle of these kinds of things. You want to add, say, apple cider vinegar to all your salad dressings, and have raw food salads consistently every day, all the time. Make it a lifestyle type thing. Always adding lemon juice to your salads, or just having lemon water, or doing the master cleanse fast. So that's one reason why the master cleanse is so good at cleansing the liver and the whole body. And so, yeah, basically consistency is the trick to dissolving liver stones with these substances.